but the speaker requested to have it today because of personal reasons, of which we agreed to. So it's good seeing all of you here tonight. I can see Thiak. I'm mentioning Thiak because I know, I think Thiak is not in the country. He's in Juba. So Jacqui, I'm saying that so that maybe you know the examples to use, some of the language to use, because I'm sure he understands English better. So yeah, as I always say, every Wednesday or Thursday, whenever we have our sessions, my name is Noah Muhindi. I'll be moderating tonight's session. So Hutsy is a small close-knit group or community. So we usually have we have something called a Hutsy village. Hutsy village is like the bigger village that hosts all of us, like a community. But then we have smaller groups, which we call them huts. Every hut has 4 members. And within those huts, we have people like presenting to each other about different topics, maybe according to your skill level. So for example, if you're a beginner and you're in a hut, your hut is full with beginners, then you handle beginner topics, you handle beginner projects, because you learn through building. So maybe you come up with an idea, maybe you want to build a note app, a news app, or whatever idea that you guys want to work on. So you learn through presenting to each other. For example, you have a Jetpack Compose topic that you guys want to cover. You assign it to one of the guys in the hut. Then the next topic, another person handles. So that way, yeah, that's simply what we do at Hutsy. But we do a lot more, like in our bigger community or Hutsy village. We usually have people ask questions, the opportunities, or help each other to help and block each other. So yeah, I'm sure you'll learn more as we go by. Someone will share the link in the chat section. So if you're interested in joining a hut, we can sign you up. But for tonight, we have a special guest among us. Jacqui Gitau. She's an Android dev, a personal friend. I've met her a few times during our 254 meetups, Android 254 meetups here in Kenya. So I'm sure you're going to enjoy. I've learned her effort in learning Android and trying to understand what it is over the years. So she's someone that has really inspired me personally, the effort that she's put in. And yeah, we are lucky to have her tonight. So Jacqui, welcome. Welcome. If you have any question by there, as the session goes by, please feel free to type it at the chat section. Jacqui will see it. I'll see it. If you have any question, you can also just raise up your hand, and then we'll allow you to ask. So Jacqui, karibu sana. Take us through.
Oh my God. I'm even nervous right now because of the intro that you've given. But thank you so much for the introduction, Noah, and also for giving me an opportunity to share my learnings with your fellow Hutsy members. I hope that today's session will be beneficial to most of you, if not all. So I'll be covering a bit on what view models are. So I don't think it will be like super new, but it'll be maybe just reminding ourselves why we need to use view models when we are architecting our applications and why they're important and stuff like that. And I'd also like this session to be very engaging. I don't know if I need to do an introduction again, Noah.
Yeah, Jacqui.
Okay, so I do another introduction.
Yes, please.
Okay, so like Noah mentioned, I am Jacqui Gitau or Jacqui Gitau, and I do a lot of community work, say organizing communities like Android 254 and Kotlin Kenya. I'm also part of the DroidCon KE organizing team, an Android developer for some time. Yeah, and that is mostly about me. Yeah, and yeah, you get to know more about me as we go. So before I even begin this session, I'd like to maybe start with a few brain teasers on what ViewModels are, just to get us in the mood. And I'd like us to maybe engage in the chat section. So I prepared a few dad jokes, but concerning ViewModels. So I'd like you to answer. I'll give hints on maybe the kind of answer that I'm looking for. So I hope that we'll all engage. I don't know if you're ready. Maybe you could do a thumbs up or just an emoji to show that you guys are keen. It's just for it. More people. Thank you. Okay, so the first joke that I had was, why did you think the ViewModel never get? Why do you think the ViewModel never gets stressed? Yeah, it's part of why we need a ViewModel. Like, what does it do? Yeah, you can just type in or even unmute. Anyone engaging? If you are typing or something, maybe you could engage with an emoji. It's always ready. No, it's not. That's not the answer I'm looking for. No, it's not always ready, Yan. Another answer. Maybe two more people can chat. Two more people before I say what the answer is. It never does any of the real work. No, no, that's not the answer. One more person. Think of what a view model does. What is its purpose? There's a repo, don't know where they're going with this. It persists. Kinda, but not really. Okay, I'll just say the answer. Because it knows how to survive configuration changes. That's why it never gets stressed. So next one, I'll just do two more and then we'll we'll just dive into the session. So why don't view models ever get tired? Why don't they ever get tired? There's an answer in that chat already. Why does it never get tired? Yes, it persists because because they're designed to persist through it all. So that's why they never get tired. And then the last question is, what's the view model's favorite game? The view model's favorite game. What's the purpose of a view model? That is to a UI and to a data. What does it do? To the data layer, what does it do? Configuration changes? No. That's not the view model's favorite game. No, not Fiki Funky, not modeling. No, not not to hold state. Okay, I'll just go ahead and say the answer so that we can dive into the session. So its favorite game is hide and seek because it hides from the UI, but always remembers everything. So yeah, so that's it on on the jokes that I had. Just to thank you. Okay, so I think I'll share my screen. Let me present full screen. Or even do so. Escape. Moment. Okay, so share. I don't know if you can see my screen. Maybe Noah, you can. unmute and tell me if you can see my screen. See my screen. Action. So you unmute and say no.
We can see it.
Oh, you can see. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I can see the reaction. So if so, there are two or say
We can see it.
and yeah, just share a few resources managed they use via the view model. That is how data is persisted. It's gonna be an engaging session. So be models are like, why do we need it? What is a view model in your own terms? Yeah. This the person says it's the to our view. No, wait. Use that is still using XML. You can use the old view system. So what we'll be discussing is a bit of intro on what view models are, why we need them, and also how to implement our view models and what view models. That's it. And someone else before. Okay, I don't. Middleman. Yeah, it's also a middleman. Okay, so thank you. Thank you, Oliver, for your answers. So I'll go back to my screen. So according to me, how I define what a view model is, it's basically a class that you could tell the states for our screens, and it also UI, and also it's part of the UI layer in the Android app architecture. And I can demonstrate with the. So it is part of the UI layer, and it's also, like someone mentioned, it's or defined it a view model as a state holder. So yes, it helps us manage and also hold our states. Even you could unmute is, so it's part of our UI. And then we'll move to why do we need to use our view models. So for me, it's because it gives like some kind of separation of concern. Not some kind of separation of concern. It does separate concerns between the UI screen and the UI business logic. Say in solid principles, there is that part which says single responsibility, where a class needs to only just or do one specific thing. So the work of our screen is to only emit UI based on the state that provided from the view model, and the view and also it provides us for our UI states. This is because, say you have a UI which which requires data, and how on your UI. So all those states on a single UI screen. Of, say, an application like Spotify. So if I open my data, there's, say, a section which says shows to try your top mixes, maybe made for Jacqui, expand your recent listening, recommended station. This is definitely data that's coming from different states, a remote source, and to ensure that you'd like to UI, you'd like to manage of truth. And also, we also need ViewModel so that it can encapsulate business logic from the UI state, like business logic from So it's also hidden. So middleman. Middleman for the screens or the UI elements. So it's basically the totally a class contains the business or to show or architecture, and here, so a user has with, and it's also, like someone mentioned, or depending on the initial data that needs to be shown when a user launches an app. A ViewModel as a stakeholder. So for me, it's because it the initial screen. So the not get to see the data that was there initially because it will have not been persisted. So the benefit of the UI is to cache data and persist that data through the configuration changes and also through, say, navigation changes. And also to the business logic data from, say, a remote source, and been updated from what I can changes that It's a lot of or when you're on an application and maybe do a screen rotation or move to a different screen. First, when you're launching an activity or an application, an activity, it will expand your recent listening, recommended station. The screen is rotated, or we say a user moves to a this, and changes that is from a remote source, and to ensure that the activity or when the elements are recomposed, it will recreate it. It will create it again, then start it. Creating different UI states and different models for each and every section that your screen by elements from that particular list that you had left from, or particular where all those states are being managed. And so one specific, what is your screen? So that's where the where state and an event moves in the other direction, like how how it's been I've managed to demonstrate in this what do you call it, encapsulate figure. It's business logic from the UI state, like business logic from from the UI particular event, and then it will go back to the view model where the state will be managed, and then that state will be emitted to the UI based on what from the data layer. Also, there's this part state. Say when launching an application holder or the view model acts like a middleman for the screen. And if say a user, so it the Spotify application, say a user wants to listen to a particular song, the user will UI elements. So the view model is able to access data or get data from the data observed, and the view model will get that event, and then you provide the UI with maybe the state that it needs to emit, and then the data layer will update the state of that particular event based on what the user wants to see, or based on what the user based on what the user wants to see or listen to. And then it will repeat the process again. It will send the updated data, the updated state to the UI, and then the user is it's a code that had already, depending on what, or depending on the initial data that needs to be